Welcome. My name is Andy Pattee. I'm the Superintendent of Schools for the Cedar Falls Community School District. This is Parent University, and this program is with the Cedar Falls Community School Board members to talk a little bit about what does it mean to be a school board member. With us is Joyce Coyle, Board President, and Sasha Wolpert, Board Member, and we're both honored to have you here with us for this program. Parent University, as you can see by the slide, is an opportunity really to inform our community, to help our parents as well as our students to understand what is happening across our district. It gives a better understanding for all of our constituent groups what is happening each and every day within our buildings. We hope not only our parents but also everybody across our great community have a better understanding and more confidence on how to become engaged within our school system and within our community. So once again, welcome to Parent University. Very excited to have both of you here. I think the first question really is, who is on the Board of Education? And can we talk about maybe what those individuals do in their role as a board member as they oversee the entire school district for Cedar Falls?
First, we're a 7-member board. Sasha and I are 2 of those members. Our 2 other newest members are Jeff Orvis and Eric Giddens. We also have Jeff Hassman, who is our vice president, Susie Hines, and Jenny Leeper, who are board members.
And I think it's important to note that sometimes when you see pictures, you see our school board on TV making some of the decisions that they make, it's first and foremost important to understand this is a completely voluntary role. Sometimes people from outside don't understand that you are giving of your time to help make decisions, help lead the district for those positive outcomes. So as we look at the Cedar Falls School Board in general, what are the primary responsibilities?
Well, we're a visionary body, and we are tasked with setting policy and working with the superintendent to ensure that we are providing the best possible education for our students in the Cedar Valley.
And that is so important because as we look at setting that vision, setting that future, understanding all the different procedures and policies to help frame the direction of where we're moving to ensure we meet our vision every student every day is very important. One of the aspects that I think is important for our parents to understand is talk about why you wanted to be on the school board and maybe what that looked like as you decided to go about running and eventually being in this important leadership role.
Well, when our son was in 1st grade at Cedar Heights Elementary School, our class sizes were very large. And as a group of parents, we started talking about it, and we approached the school board asking about the potential of reducing those class sizes. They were very welcoming and listened to our concerns, but I didn't really understand just what the school board really, what their role was when it came to the class sizes. So I started attending school board meetings, and then I attended a school board meeting for 3 years. And then Gene Shield, who was on the board, was retiring or stepping down, so there was an open seat on the board. So he had asked me if I would consider to run at that time, and I did.
Fantastic. And I know we have truly appreciated your leadership. Sasha, how about you? What was your deciding factor?
Well, so my husband and I relocated here a few years ago, and one of the things that we looked at when we were considering moving to Cedar Falls was the school system. And although we have grown children and we're going to be bringing kids into the school system, we firmly believe that the school is the heart of the community, and that when you have a strong school system, you have a thriving community. And so that was one of the things that attracted us to this area. And then after being here for a couple of years, I was looking for ways to give back to the community, and I thought my background in education first doing environmental outreach as an education coordinator for a soil and water conservation district, and then as a high school teacher for several years, and then at the university level as a faculty member, I felt like I had a good breadth of experience that I could bring to the board. And so I put my name in the hat and was very honored that the community had the confidence that I could add to this board. So.
Well, both of you said this. As we look at what are some of the requirements to become a board member, I think the first requirement is to have a deep passion for education, a deep passion to help support all kids, to have all kids learn at high levels. And both of you exemplify that, as do our other 5 board members, which is so important. But maybe, Joyce, could you talk about if there are individuals that are wondering what the requirements would be to become a school board member across the state of Iowa? What are some of those?
Well, they would need to be, first of all, a citizen of the United States, 18 years or older, and a resident of the Cedar Falls Community School District. Now, we serve at at-large positions, so we're not director district. So you can live anywhere in the Cedar Falls Community School District and run for the board.
You know, I think that's important for people to understand, because different school systems set it up differently. Again, you mentioned earlier that you could have a 5-member board or a 7-member board, and we've always have had a 7-member board in Cedar Falls. Some school districts have director districts, so you are representing maybe a neighborhood or a section of the community. Here they're all at large, so regardless of where you live, you represent every school building, the district as a whole, as a school board member, which is very important, I think, for our community and our parents to understand. As you look at becoming a school board member and some of the basic requirements or some of the different components of filling out and going about that process, maybe Sasha, if you could talk a little bit about that process of becoming a board member and what that might entail, especially how long of a term is it once you're on the school board?
Yeah, well, it's a 4-year commitment, and it is really, as you said, giving of your time. There's no compensation other than the reward of doing great work for our community and for students in our district. So there's a window of time that you have to submit nomination papers. I think it's 65, no sooner than 65 days before and no later than 40 days before, something like that, I think is the range. Yeah, 64, okay, it's on the screen. And you submit your nomination paperwork, which includes signatures, so you have to get a certain number of signatures from community members that support your running, and then you do the job of talking to community members and getting your name out and explaining to people why you feel like you're well suited for this position.
And I think have always been blessed in Cedar Falls to have individuals that run and certainly that are elected that are focusing again on how do we improve the entire system, what is the roles and responsibilities. And I think one of the challenges that have come out from the last several legislative cycles is that 4-year term. And I think there are some people that are hesitant. That used to be a 3-year commitment, now it's a 4-year commitment. So it is a big commitment of time. You know, and maybe as you look overall as your commitment as a school board member and the amount of hours devoted to being a member, committee work, board meetings, how much time do you think you typically devote to being a school board member over the course of a month?
I think it depends. With our school board meetings, every 2 weeks or on the 2nd and 4th Monday of the month, you know, to prepare for those board meetings, probably a few hours to go through all the material. And if you're serving on a committee, there may be, you know, an hour or 2 you spend a month, depending on what committees you serve on. And I think it depends on what other things you are doing for the district too. So not only do we serve, I feel, if we're, one of our goals, I'll just use that as an example, our PLC goal. So we are very intentional about going out and spending time and visiting with PTA, PTOs. We try to get in the buildings to visit and listen to the professional learning communities when those are in process. And then we also just try to be in the buildings to visit at a time that those just observing what's happening in the building. So depending on the month, I think it's it kind of ebbs and flows. And as we think about maybe moving forward with a new facility, then our responsibilities will increase. I think another thing is when the legislators are in session, we spend time going to Des Moines, reaching out to our legislators to make sure that we're communicating with them what our needs and concerns are.
The other thing that we always try to do as a board and that we feel is really important for us to do is to model lifelong learning and to model our own engagement in the learning process. And so we spend time reading and reviewing materials and trying to understand what's happening at the district. And so that all varies too, depending on what's happening at any given time.
And that's part of that visioning and in the direction that the board provides as we look at what are the best practices, best pedagogies, best frameworks that we want to have in place for student success. Your constant learning, your constant understanding of what those look like are imperative, and that takes a lot of time, which is greatly appreciated. I know we briefly wanted to talk about some of the board goals and kind of the frameworks for the board goals as we look at what are we undertaking for this upcoming school year and potentially what are we doing over the course of the next several years.
Well, our first goal is our student achievement goal. So as a board, we will try to gain a deeper understanding and implement the K-12 computer science sequence. And those are things that Dr. Pattee will be very good about coming back to us and sharing what's taking place. The other thing that we want to do is to create a process to set benchmarks, to collect data, so we know what's happening with our student graduation rate. Where do our students go once they leave Cedar Falls Community School District? And what kind of success are they having? So that we can go back and we can see what we're doing and what we can do to enhance that, so as they leave our district, that we can set them up for success.
Very good. And there are a couple different subset goals of the first goal, because as a district, which includes our school board, we set goals in 3 areas. First goal area is student achievement, to ensure that we're always focused on the achievement of our students. That means all students achieving at high levels. And you can see some of the other subset goals of that student achievement focus, to focus on facilities, to enhance that safety and security, but also collaborative spaces. But then digging deeper is what Sasha talked about, our own personal learning as we go through an annual conference, the Iowa Association of School Boards annual conference, which all of our school board members attend, which I believe is very unique from other districts across the state because of the dedication our school board members have. They attend that very, very regularly. Subset goal number 2 is always on culture and climate, and maybe briefly, if you could look at and talk, Sasha, about the culture and climate component of our goals.
Yeah, which I talked a little bit about
You
in
did.
terms of the culture of learning and always looking for a better understanding for us of what our teachers are doing in the classroom in terms of learning-based grading or the professional learning communities. You know, what does that look like? How does that enhance what they do? Thinking about the facilities in general and the potential of creating programs that will provide additional enhanced opportunities for students, like magnet programs and that sort of thing. So really branching out and understanding what's happening in other high achieving districts so that we can try to model that kind of success in our own district and continually look for ways to improve and enhance the experience for our students.
For both of you guys, and hopefully for our parents, they recognize how important and how intertwined all of these items are, because we know that student achievement ties into the culture and climate, which ties into our professional learning communities. And when all those things are in sync, everything moves along as it's supposed to, and you have a high achieving district like we have. And I think it's very important to note that. So it's amazing how they all fit together. The third subset goal, and we've talked about this quite a bit, is our PLCs, our professional learning community, and our framework as an entire district. We pride ourselves on our collaboration. That is evidenced through the work that the school board does, the amount of diligence that is provided with your leadership and your visioning component, which we certainly appreciate, and I know our parents appreciate as we look at the approach our district takes. Let's talk a little bit about maybe when the school board meetings are, and what do they, what time are they, what are dates that they are held on?
They are held on the second and the fourth Monday of the month. Actually, they are live on CFU Channel 15. You can come to the Cedar Falls City Hall and attend them if you want to be here in person. You also can see them live streamed, and I think you can see the website that you can type in to watch it live. And then we do do a YouTube video also that you can get in the Cedar Falls Community School District onto their webpage, and you can watch it there also. And then Channel 15 continues to broadcast that throughout the month. So if you are not able to watch us live or watch us in another on YouTube or live stream, you have an opportunity to get on Channel 15 at a later date and watch.
And I think that's so important to note, that we want everybody to know the work that's being undertaken as a school district and as the leadership board for the district. So there are multiple ways for people to be able to see that, hear that, listen to that, and certainly be engaged with that work, which is something that is vitally important for us, not only to make our district stronger, but our community as a whole stronger, because we know how important education is as a key cornerstone of a successful community. I think as we kind of wrap up, are there other thoughts or ideas that you'd like to be able to talk about as far as maybe the roles and responsibilities, the importance of being a board member, or just the overall dialogue and discussion that you have as a school board member?
Well, I would just reiterate the importance it is for us to work as a team. You know, just like we ask our teachers to work in productive teams to do what's best for our students, we as a board operate as a team. We are not making any decisions as individuals. We are definitely working as a unit in collaboration with you, Andy, to make sure that things are operating in the most efficient and effective way possible, so that we are utilizing our resources as efficiently as we possibly can, and bringing different ideas and expertise to the table. So.
And I think that's such an important responsibility as well, to understand that as individuals look at becoming a board member across the state as a school board member, that it's a team approach. We don't always agree. There's times where there's important decisions that there's multiple viewpoints from individuals on the board, but the commitment to move forward once the majority has made a decision to say this is a direction that we're moving, everybody supports that, because that's important for us as a system, important for us as a community, and most importantly, that's what our students need. And that is such sometimes challenging in the environment that we live in, to be able to accept sometimes when a minority voice isn't heard on a board or a group, but certainly it's honorable from the perspective of board members and what you provide.
I can piggyback on what Sasha said, that we have a great board. We work well together. We don't always see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, when we walk away from the table, we all know that we're doing what's best for kids. And I think all 7 of us at that table are there to do what's best for kids. And we're diverse. We come from different walks of life, with just a wide range of age on the board, a wide range of different experiences. And I think that makes our board very, very strong. And we are really willing to work together. And I think that's it's a pleasure to work with this board.
And I would echo the same sentiment. And again, this Parent University was truly to provide insight on what it means to be a school board member, potentially how you go about becoming a school board member, when school board meetings are, and certainly the transparent measure and atmosphere that we try to create around all of our decisions that we have as a school district. I think it's important to note, again, we want to thank all of our board members, their volunteer time that they provide for this service, the leadership that they provide, and certainly the fact that we are an engaging school board and school district to try to always reach out and provide that openness and transparency and leadership for all of our buildings across our district. So this wraps up this episode of Parent University. We want to thank everybody for watching and taking part. Thank you for Joyce and Sasha for being here and talking about the roles and responsibilities of our school board. And we wish everybody a great day.